You know how we've been speaking about political indoctrination and the way it's insidiously pushed in all sorts of media? Politics has been pushed inside our video games, in our movies, on Netflix, at school, on the streets, inside supermarkets, malls. It is literally surrounding us. But you know where I wasn't expecting to see the political propaganda? In my damn home. So the other night I turned on my PlayStation 5 after a long day of work, and you know me, if a game is pushing politics, I don't buy it. So in theory, that was my way to sanitize, if you will, of politics, a hobby that I've had for a very long time. But no, that's not enough. On the very TV screen in front of me, Sony decides that it's about time to tell me about diversity and plaster everything in front of me with the rainbow flag and the transgender flag on multiple sections of my monitor. Okay, cool. You know, I thought that this was something that would happen in June. It's not June. As of the recording of this video, we are in October. So, I have a question for you, Sony executives. PlayStation Store. What month is Sony going to celebrate traditional family values while putting a Christian cross on my screen? Because, I mean, if they're all about diversity, am I right? I personally see no diversity at all in the type of politics that's being pushed onto me on my TV. I already know the kind of answers I'm gonna get in the comments by the brainwashed cultists. Why celebrate what's already the norm? That's the standard in the West. They are the standard. They don't need to be celebrated. Why celebrating Christianity? It's the standard. No, we need to celebrate the minorities. Oh, sorry. Apparently I was politically incorrect. You're not supposed to call them minorities anymore. You're supposed to call them equity-deserving groups, as of the instruction from the University of Waterloo in Canada, over my dead body. So minorities is what we're talking about, right? But here's the problem, though. First and foremost, the very fact that you're looking for excuses in order to find ways to exclude people from your inclusivity tells me that you're not about inclusivity at all, are you? You're in fact about exclusivity. Select a group, consider them to be the oppressor, exclude them on that basis. Because a true inclusive environment, one day I should see this with the option to opt out. The next day I should see a beautiful traditional family, husband, wife, children, reading the Bible together, praying before having a meal, thanking our Heavenly Father, with an option for you to opt out. Yet I don't see that, do I? That's why words such as diversity and inclusivity and representation are empty. They're shallow. There's nothing beneath them. They're just a facade. This, but Metatron, what are you talking about? These are the people that are suffering because they're persecuted, and so they need the representation, not white Christians. Okay, so what about the children who got shot at church? Deserve any representation after that sort of persecution, which is happening, and you cannot gaslight us out of it? What about the fact that only white people are the ones that can be racially discriminated without any form of social nor legal repercussion whatsoever? These are the new 50s in reverse. And these people revel in it because their seeking for representation of minorities and people of color is only based on their anti-white sentiment, hatred and toxicity. You know what my problem is with this? With all of this? All of these colors that I'm shown on my screen in my house. You know what my problem is with this? I did not consent to this. I did not consent. I did not consent. Lobotomized morons have decided to come and argue with me in the comments, and they tell me Christianity is a choice, a big difference. To that I reply, Christians are getting shot, big difference. And you know what the thing that annoys me the most is that they deny it. They deny it. This is not happening. Nothing is being pushed. There is no propaganda. Oh, all of you guys, it's just a big conspiracy theory and you're so low IQ. You see, I respect an honorable enemy. But these are cowards, manipulators, liars. They don't even have the decency to stand the ground for what they believe in. They tell you it's not what, did they dream this? That's one side. The other side of imbeciles, the other side of the argument are the ones that tell you, oh, is your masculinity threatened? I'm sorry, what? How are the tolerant people the most toxic, poisonous, and venomous of all? They always have an excuse. They always have a lie. They will deny the presence of the sun in front of your eyes. They will tell you it's not happening. No, how about the teenagers who play this and maybe the parent doesn't know? And all they do is being plastered by all sorts of politically motivated flags. And do you think I'm done? Oh, I'm not done. The other day, I downloaded a game, got a refund immediately. You want to know what game it was? I'll show you. Need for Speed. My cousin and I get a copy of Need for Speed Heat, and one of the first things we see, we get plastered with Black Lives Matter everywhere for some reasons. Tell us, and the game developers decide to tell us about equality, diversity, inclusion. And on that note of inclusion, when I go to create my character, you can't choose white. You have to be a non-white person. No option. There were a lot of options. Believe me, you could be African American, you could be Mexican, you could be Asian, Asian American, you could be anything. Not white. And in fact, as we drive around, I barely see any white people in the entirety of the town. It's just gone. It's like a dream world for the anti-white. That's what this game is. So good luck with inclusivity and representation for everyone equally. I thought you were about equality. Where is the equality in the discrimination of a specific entire group of people due to the color of their skin? Oh, but mind you, there is actually one white person in the game. There is. Yeah. You know who that is? The evil white cop, ladies and gentlemen. Not joking. The villain. A white cop. He's the only white guy. No one else is white. Okay. Keep your game, you anti-white scum. You think we're done? I'm not done. Baldur's Gate 3 is another one where obviously they're having their share. It's a great game, don't get me wrong. There are a few things that are a little weird, like for instance, why is it that when you select a human, the base is black? Now you might think, well, Metatron, that's an overreaction. Why do you have a problem with that? If someone wants to set, why do you have a problem with that? I have a problem with that because I know it comes from anti-white racism. I know that for a fact because radical leftists hate white people because white people are the oppressors. So I know for a fact that this isn't a coincidence, that it isn't a matter of, well, we decided to create a setting where, yeah, the predominant majority is black people, and then there are some white people, some Asian people. And so, of course, when you select human, it's going to be black because that's the setting. But if you still want to create a white guy, you just have to select it, and that's okay. I wouldn't have a problem with that. No, it's not the reason. The reason is they hate anything white, and so they have to do this. And I know that my haters are gonna say, oh, so are you saying that you don't want to see black people on screen? I don't care about you. I stopped being nice. Nice Metatron is gone. Get lost. Liars. I do not care what you think about me. Ever again will I entertain it. I tried to do this. Go there in the comments and talk to them. No, but I really mean it. I really don't have a problem with people who are not white on screen. I just don't like it when people are anti. And they kept gaslighting. No, you're a racist. Oh, then you think whatever you want. I do not care. I will not talk to you ever again. You shot the guy who was willing to talk to the likes of you, to your ilk. I'm not like him. I'm not like Charlie. Not anymore. Let's talk about Street Fighter. Street Fighter, you want to talk about this? Eternity. You click, you start the game, and this is what we get. With this one, they literally checked every mark. So it's a black person, transgender, with blue hair, whom is wearing the transgender flag. Literally, light blue, pink, and white. And then when you try and create your character in Street Fighter 6, you're plastered with choose your identity, identify as a woman, identify as a man, non-binary, gender fluid, and all the usual stuff. And don't even get me started on character creation. Do you want to talk about those games? That now this allow you to select the surgery scars in a fantasy game, Dragon Age Fail God. I'm sorry, what? In a fantasy game? In a fantasy game where a transgender individual finally can choose to look however they want. So if you were born a male and you wish you were female, edit away. Make your character reflect your mind, your projection of your mental self. No, they gave them the freaking scars. I'm pretty confident that a lot of transgender people that go into the surgery wish they didn't have the scars. I guess if you're transgender, let me know if you agree. Am I misrepresenting you? I can prove to you. The people like me that complain about this, I can prove it. Because we were alive in the 80s when the majority of these activists weren't even a thought, an afterthought in their parents' imagination. And in the 80s, we had this. I'll prove it to you right now. See, in the 80s, we had this game. Now, this is a modernly redesigned version. Doesn't matter. Look at the roster. You can't get more inclusive than this. Japanese, Brazilian, given, not the usual looks of a Brazilian individual as far as I could check, but whatever. White American, Mexican, Chinese, Black African, Thailand guy, White American, Chinese girl, White British, Indian, Russian, Black Jamaican, Spanish, another Thai guy, and then with the Alpha series, they did add an Italian, no idea why they called it Rose, to be honest, but whatever. Street Fighter has always been one of the most inclusive games that took everyone of every ethnicity, of every skin color, and represented them, making them look cool and awesome. Do you think any of us, even the most conservative guy in the 80s and 90s, ever complained about this? Like, no, we only want white people. We don't want to see this black African boxer. Everyone thought he was awesome. So how is it that the very same people now complain about the new games? Well, because this game, the inclusivity, if you want to call it that way, was done in a way that was sincere. It was real. And nobody cared. Nobody blinked. Now, were there ever racist people that looked at this and said, I'm going to play as Guile, I'm going to punch this guy in the face because whatever the heck, white supremacy? I mean, I don't know, I've never run into one, but I imagine never say never. They were talking about minorities now. We're talking about 0.0000001% of the amount of gamers. But today, there are a lot of people that are complaining about this forced inclusivity. So, if anything, whatever they did with all of this nonsensical pushing of politics was create more racists. But the reality is that these are not even racists. The problem is that we can see right through you, and we know you're toxic, and we know you're doing it because you hate the West, you hate tradition, you hate Christianity, you hate conservatism, you hate anyone who disagrees with you, you hate white people, you complain about binaries, and yet you function, your entire brain functions in binaries, oppressor, oppressed. That's a binary. We stand against inclusivity, representation, because it's false. And the one you are trying to push is based on hatred. And so we don't support it. It is either true equality for everyone, which includes white people and Christians, or we stand against it.